it's a such thing called sleep train. So you got to put them babies in their bed so you can have that, quality time with your significant other. And that's what I had to learn with the third child. Because you are uncomfortable. You have a 20-pound baby kicking in your back, but once you switch it up a little bit, I feel like, you do need that intimate time with your significant other. And that's where, I personally find that time with my significant other, because we're all doing some, during the day. So having that, getting to bed together, touching his arms and he rubbing through, like, that intimate stuff.
Y'all,
Like
y'all are
I
romantic.
have to have that. I have to feel that every night. And I get he can
Oh,
have his man cave, but to sleep in it, that, like, I'm gonna just feel some type of way. I'm
hell
just too
yes.
clingy. I'm too clingy. I'm a clingy woman. Like, I need my man right there, literally.
This one to me is kind of juicy. It's called Couples Living in Separate Rooms. So I'm about to roll this clip and just tell me what y'all think.
All right, man. So a lot of people be asking me, because I have my own room, my own bathroom, my own closet. I'm also in a relationship, and my wife has her own room, her own closet, and her own bathroom. So we'll see. Hey,
So what are your thoughts? Like, you being in a relationship with a man or woman, trigger, and you guys sleeping in separate rooms or having your own spaces. Is that acceptable? Is it
They
not? Is it
don't,
weird?
I
they
need
don't
you to
like each other.
I need you to rephrase that because you
Are
just
they
said
married?
man or woman trigger. First
No,
off,
okay, no. I was saying man or woman because you're a guy up here, so I didn't want to just say I was
oh, okay, it
for the
would be a
whole
woman.
audience.
So
No,
we're
no.
gonna
I was
make that
saying man to
perfectly
the
clear.
women and or woman to you.
I know, I
Clear
know.
that up.
So, like again, you got to look at history. This is not uncommon, actually. I'm gonna tell you, maybe I used to be a real romantic person, right? I'd say there's no way I'm not sleeping in the bed with my wife. Go ahead and have 2 kids and see if you still have that um outlook. It is actually not comfortable at all. All right. My babies come seek their mama in bed. It's the worst place for me to be for my back. Okay. I get military disability for these back problems. And yet I got a kid kicking me, a little ass 40-pound kid kicking me off my own damn bed. I actually believe, hear me out on this. You will be happier as a couple in separate rooms. I'm telling you, I'm not trolling. The ability, there are certain things in the way I'm thinking about this now. I'm compartmentalizing, I guess, what we call happiness, but fulfillment in relationships. Lack of sleep, especially when it's like due to your children or irritability and all of that, it can ruin your day. Like your day could be ruined in the morning simply because of that. You woke up wrong, you didn't get enough sleep, your partner took the covers. Um, Partners make the bed hot as hell. Like these pictures where they show two people cuddling all night, that is not what the hell it looks like.
Yeah,
I got
no.
headbutted by my wife and almost wanted to stone cold Steve Austin her ass one night. Like, when you see that white light, like you got punched, like punched in the face. Imagine that happening to you in your sleep. Boom. So it's not a pleasant experience. You do have to learn to sleep with your spouse. But back in the days, the only reason we even sleep in the same bed with our spouses so they could market king size beds. People don't even know that. People used to sleep in separate rooms or in separate beds in the same room. It is not unheard of. It's 100% a thing. And I actually believe people will be happier. They'll get better sleep, be less irritable, inability for your children to kick you and all that type of stuff if you do it. So I say some people should try it.
I hear that. So go ahead. Just give me 1 second.
I wanted to say something, but
Go ahead. Go ahead.
I think it's maybe we need a little bit more of like background or more info from them,
That
because we don't know, right? But I agree with Mike. When you've been in the marriage for quite some time, but this is not common in the first 2-3 years, especially if
yeah.
there's no kids. That's not normal. So we kind of have to define when it's normal and when it's not normal. I heard him saying that's his wife And I don't think he's complaining. He's just saying that's his experience. So he doesn't sound like he's bothered. So I don't know. In my opinion, he sounds comfortable with the decision. But I think it's normal, yes, from a certain point from their marriage on, especially when you have kids, that's for sure. But the first few years it's not. Well, I've never seen it in the first few years.
Yeah, no, for me, it can't happen in my house. Like, and I have like 3 small children, so I understand what you're saying, Mike. Like, I got a 2-month old, and it just trickled up from there. So I get it. However, it's a such thing called sleep train. So you got to put them babies in their bed so you can have that, quality time with your significant other. And that's what I had to learn with the third child. Because you are uncomfortable. You have a 20-pound baby kicking in your back, but once you switch it up a little bit, I feel like, you do need that intimate time with your significant other. And that's where, I personally find that time with my significant other, because we're all doing some, during the day. So having that, getting to bed together, touching his arms, and he rubbing through, like, that intimate stuff.
Y'all,
Like I
y'all are
have to,
romantic.
I have to have that. I have to feel that every night. And I get he can
Oh,
have his man cave, but to sleep in it, that, like, I'm gonna just feel some type of way. I'm
hell
just too
yes.
clingy. I'm too clingy. I'm a clingy woman. Like, I need my man right there, literally.
I was gonna say, are you a leg locker? Are you a leg locker? Are you the one of those? Yeah. Okay.
No
That's what
comment.
it is. It's the leg lockers that made this situation impossible for men who want to escape and go sleep in their man cave. I'm just saying. But
See,
I get it.
I think it's okay. Like, so I've never been in like a super long relationship like that, and enough to want to be away, because I think in the early stages of things, or the first few years, naturally you're going to want to be beside your significant other. But I feel like it, like Trigger said, like as time goes on, when things change, like if he were to want his own space to do his own thing, I don't think that that's something I'm fussed about. But it can't be like all the time. It can't be like every single night we're sleeping in separate. But like if you need your own time a few nights, then that's all right. But that's like
But
later on in the
why?
year.
Like, I would be like,
So,
why you don't want to lay with by me? You
so
don't understand why.
this is real. This is actually really funny that y'all are putting it off.
Because you're making it about you. Like that's the thing. Like I think sometimes women make it about us. Like, oh, he doesn't want to lay with us. It's me. Like, no, he might just want his own space for his own
What I'm
reason.
saying, Curtis, this is funny. Y'all making it about the men. Women are starting to speak up and saying they want their own space. You got to read these blogs and stuff. Moms are like, yo, go sleep in your man cave. I'm telling you, like, well, in husband and wives groups that I'm in, it's the wife that's like, boy, I had the bed by myself while you were away on that work trip, and I could do that. We could just do that.
Right.
Like, it's the women.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think it depends on the lifestyle, right? I think women who have access to their partner frequently are very okay with, having separate beds. That doesn't mean you sleep in separate beds every single night, but it's just that, if he wants to, he can. And if he wants to hop in your bed or you hop in his, then those are options. But I think it's the women that, their partner's out of the household for most of the time, or is traveling or whatever, who don't have that level of like connectivity and security in the relationship, because insecurity is also a thing, that tend to not be okay with space. Right? Like we talk about it all the time. So I grew up in a pretty traditional household where, we were taught from a very young age that a little bit of like mystery, mystique, no matter how long you've been married, will keep the marriage going. And sometimes like having separate rooms can absolutely cause, because you could sleep in your nighttime mask, you put your hair up in a bun and not feel any sort of ways. Like, you know what I mean? Like there's that freedom to still have the self-care without worrying about how you're presenting yourself to your husband. That gives you a little bit of freedom, right? And I think even men too, like when you respect a man's space, right? I think that adds so much more admiration from him to you, that if that means sleep time is space, then like I think there's that creates a more significant bond, right? And I think women are taught like there's so much competition and this and that like we tend to cling on to men way tighter than we need to, that if we just loosen that grip, we'll realize that like that man really isn't going to go anywhere if he really rocks with you, because there's not a lot of women that are going to be like, yeah, it's cool, like, you know, you can go just sleep in your own space, and you just like my affection, my role, my duties aren't going to change because, you know, from time to time you want to sleep in your own space.
Yeah, I just wanted to like add to the topic and say like the only marriage that I grew up seeing was my great grandparents, and they actually slept together in their bed their entire marriage, but they also had an extra bedroom that they used just in case, you know, one of them was like having a moment and just, you know, didn't want to be bothered, because, you know, once they get older they kind of get annoyed with each other and kind of really don't want to be around each other. So I think for me personally, in my future marriage, I would like to have, you know, the idea of like a man cave and, you know, my own space, so that if you do feel like you want to have that time, you can go do that in the man cave, and I can have my space, you know, in my space or my area, you know. Yeah.
The whole house is your space. Ain't no she shed. It's only the man cave. Go to the kitchen, go to the room. Everything is decorated and modeled by you. The whole house is your space. Don't have me getting 400 extra square feet for your own space. It's not necessary.
Yeah, see, this is a tough one, because if I'm speaking about personally, I like the option. Okay, because I like to do my meditations, my affirmations. I mean, you know, and my like, I like my space. I just
What is the
like
bedroom
it.
floor?
Balance likes a balance in her life.
The game room
Exactly.
floor. The media room floor.
Yes, but let's say I want to play like my hurt sounds while I'm sleeping, and my partner doesn't want to hear that crap. It's like, you know, sometimes it's like sometimes we could be together, and sometimes I'll see you in the morning. Like I like the option of having a choice. I don't want it to be like every night we have to be together or else. It's like I'm just up the hallway like tonight. Like I think
And
it's okay.
you won't get in your feelings if he decides to be the one like, tonight we're not sleeping together, I'm gonna go on my, you're cool with it? Because sometimes women get offended, like if a man decides to do something else, you're like, oh, no, why, baby?
Do y'all think women get offended like when their man is on the game or like in the man cave or wants to be alone? Do you think women get offended because like you just don't have a hobby of your own to like occupy
Hell
your
yeah.
own?
They
Like,
want to be up his. They
not
want to
me.
be up his ass the whole time. And then sometimes women are so petty to a point where they'll be in their phone doing their own thing, minding their own business. He'll be playing the game, but once she's done scrolling through her phone and do everything she's done doing, she'll be like, "Why aren't you talking to me? Why aren't you looking at me?" He's like, "Bitch, like you was just doing your thing, and now you want all my attention." So women are petty like that. Like, you know, when I'm ready to have your attention, then you need to be ready for me too. So it's like.
Yeah, I'm a secure partner. Like, I'm not worried about like if he's sleeping downstairs. Like, okay, have fun. Like, go with your friends, go to the game, enjoy yourself. Hey, have time to miss me. Okay, that's what women need to learn how to do. Okay?
But that's all cool. Like, you go to your man cave, you go hang out with the boys, but at the end of the day, like, we need to come together and, you know, spend that quality time together. Like, I just don't agree with, you know, you go to your room and I go to my room. Like, because to be honest, most of the day, most of the 24 hours, we're out doing something, you know, taking care of kids, working. So at least have that quality time together, you know, to rekindle the light. So that's just, I don't know.
All right, Court. So how
She
about
like-
different beds in the same room?
she gonna crawl
No,
to his
I
bed.
can't do it.
Feel
She can't
the
do it.
warmth.
So
No,
now you're gonna end up in my
Push them
full
together.
size bed, my twin ass bed. You gonna end up there?
It's just a twin. She gonna be laying on
Is
top
this
of
college?
you.
Is this college again?
I can't do it. No, I can't. Maybe it's just I don't know. Maybe my husband feel like you guys. He would prefer his separate bed, but for me, like I'm like no, sir.
Nah, I feel guilty. I could sleep in the bed, like, you know, I'm down for it. The thing is that first few times you actually realize I slept throughout the entire night. I got up and my back didn't hurt. When you feel that and you're like, there's no way I like sleeping alone better. There's no way. Like when you get that happening a few times, you might change your mind.